Hi Leo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, swords what we have in front of us. It's a Celtic crossword as always, and I also pulled the four agreements and wisdom and oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start reading off our rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have 11, and 11th house energy for you guys is Gemini. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there. We do have Uranus retrograde in Gemini currently. But yeah, 11th house in general points to hopes and wishes, groups, and friendships. Alright, we have Mercury. And Mercury moved into Libra recently, around the time of the Aries full moon. It's actually going to move into Scorpio. And then toward the very end of the month, it's going to move into Sagittarius. So basically, it's currently in your third house. We'll move into your fourth house, and then toward the end of the month, into your fifth house. And all right, so we see Gemini. So yeah, technically we had that with the 11th house energy for you guys as well. And like I mentioned, we do have Uranus there, retrograde. So yeah, this could just be saying that maybe you guys are reevaluating the groups that you associate with, maybe friendships, things along those lines there. But keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy, and then challenging that, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. So what this could be saying for some of you, I could see this playing out a couple of different ways. It could just be saying that maybe for some of you, Virgo season was very slow, and now you just might have too much on your plate as we enter into Libra season. So it could just be one of those things where you might have felt like, all right, it was a nice, slow, leisurely pace for Virgo season, and things were comfortable. Now you just feel like maybe you have too many things to take on, right? To where you're like, great, ideally it would have been spread out more evenly between the 2 months, but that could be what you're dealing with. For others of you, this could also just be saying that maybe you're trying to decide between multiple options, and the challenge is the one that you really might want more than anything. That offer seems to be either not coming or coming slower than you would need it to. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you, especially if it's more of a financial situation you're dealing with. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Ten of Swords. So we were talking about that with the 11th house and the Gemini energy, because this is also a Gemini card here. So for some of you, this could just be saying, yeah, maybe you have been putting an end to the groups you associate with, right? Maybe there was for some of you, could even be maybe you recently let go of a job, right? And now you're looking for a new one, and there could just be too many opportunities. And like I said, maybe the best of those opportunities seems to be moving too slowly for your liking. But either way, it looks like you could have been leaving something behind recently that just didn't seem to fit with you anymore. All right, in the past position, we have the Fool. So maybe this is saying in the past you had a bit more of a look before you leap type of approach to things, and maybe now you're trying to adjust from that, right? Because maybe that might have not worked out so well in the past as well. But yeah, it looks like you definitely were far from risk averse in the past. In the present position, we have the King of Cups, so Scorpio energy here once again. So this is saying to me that even if not yet, looks like as we move through October, you will start to feel a lot more confident and sure of yourselves as far as which direction you would like to go in. But again, given that this is Scorpio energy, you could just be saying that it might take more toward the end of October before you feel that way. In the near future position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So for some of you, this definitely can point to maybe some sort of a financial setback. It does seem to be a little bit more temporary, but again, like we said with that Knight of Pentacles, right, in the challenge position, that delay could feel uncomfortable at the very least. But yeah, for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you are experiencing a bit of a rough stretch when it comes to your careers, or for some of you, maybe even you're burning yourselves out, right? Where, like we said, maybe with that Seven of Cups, it's just that you have too many things happening at once, and it's hard to balance them all. All right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Ace of Swords. So this is definitely a good sign here because to me this says you will get an epiphany around how you want to approach the situation, right? So maybe a way to better balance out your responsibilities, or again, like we said, if you have multiple options, but the ideal one you're hoping for isn't necessarily available yet, you might figure out a creative way to work around that for the time being. But yeah, looks like you're definitely going to get a sudden insight on how to approach your situation. In the environment position, we have the Emperor. So this is the major arcana card for Aries. So I could definitely see this potentially pointing to a timeline, especially putting it back in the spread. We see that arrow, or rather the sword, is pointing right toward the Emperor. So could just be saying, especially watch out for that full moon that we're gonna have in Aries, which will be um, around the 6th of October. So yeah, pretty early on in October. So keep an eye out for that as far as when you might get that sudden insight on how to approach things, which would kind of make sense because for you guys, Aries energy is your ninth house. The ninth house could point to philosophy, higher learning, so something might click for you guys around that time. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Hermit. So yeah, so more Virgo energy here, and I feel like this is ultimately saying that this is you really just wanting to make sure you're not going to make the wrong choice, right? So again, like I said, it seems like it's not that you have a lack of choices, just might be that none of them really jump out at you as, oh, this is the absolute best one. So, or if the best one is jumping out at you, it just might not be coming as quickly as you'd like. So I feel like this is just saying that, you're hoping you're going to be able to make the right decision. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So to me, this looks like this could just be saying that you might play a little bit more of the safer bet, maybe go a little bit more of the traditional route. But it does look like the path that you will end up choosing does have that potential to be steady in the long term. But yeah, and then for some of you, this could also just point to an energy of conservation, right? Where, like we said, if you're going through a bit of a rougher stretch financially, because again, if this is a scenario where you're waiting on job offers, right, you could just be deciding, okay, well, how can I restructure things so I can wait out potentially the ideal offer versus jumping in something temporarily and then wanting to seek something else right away. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. So this is definitely an energy that points to strong intuition. So between this and that Ace of Swords energy, I feel like you're definitely going to get some intuitive insights on how best to handle the situation. And again, like I said, it seems like that Aries full moon might be the key time for some of you, but just keep an eye out for that energy in general throughout the month. All right, from the Four Agreements deck, we have Always Do Your Best, and it says Express Your Own Divinity. Right, it says you don't need the acceptance of others, you don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You have the right to be you, and you express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. So, definitely an interesting message there, right? Especially if you feel like you are struggling to decide on something, right? And maybe your tendency would be to potentially rely too heavily on the opinions of others, but I feel like this is saying, maybe have a little bit more trust in yourselves this month. All right, and from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Not For You. There's the artwork, and the number is 6. All right, essential meanings says a clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. The Oracle's message. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game, and you feel you're just watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, that, indeed, your dreams for that exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what's for your highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better that will truly make you happy is on its way. Trust this. So yeah, interesting message there, because in that context, that could be what this Knight of Pentacles energy is representing, right? Meaning that you might have these options available to you and nothing jumping out at you, but it could just be saying because maybe that ideal opportunity is on its way, but you just might not have that realization just yet. All right, the relationship message says some relationships carry an innate seed of failure in them that is obvious from the beginning, but the red flags escape your observation or you refuse to acknowledge them. When a relationship is not meant to be, it's not possible to make it be. Rejection is a sign that you're being protected by the divine. If you are the one who must reject another, remember that you do so for both your sakes. For every pot there is a lid. This one may not be the best fit. So an interesting message there. For a lot of you, it seems more like a financial situation, but for some of you, maybe that Five of Pentacles can represent some relationship difficulties you may be going through. So if that's the case, hopefully that message resonated. And the prosperity message says you can strategize and project and systemize and invest all your time and energy, but sometimes your best laid plans seem to go awry in spite of it all. Keep in mind that no effort is wasted. Fail fast and learn from defeat. Then keep going. You will eventually succeed, although perhaps not at this game, not at this time. Know when to fold your cards. So, definitely an interesting message there, because like I said, for some of you, maybe it's just there's plenty of opportunities in front of you, but none of them seem like they're the ideal choice. And like I said, if that's the case, it looks like that more ideal situation could be on its way. But again, the Knight of Pentacles energy is a slow moving one, so that could be the difficulty there. But yeah, hope we got some guidance from those messages there. We'll wrap up there, and we'll see you all next month. All right, bye.